Welcome to the Anxious to Secure podcast. I'm Jula, your anxious attachment style coach, CEO of The Marriage Coach. I'll help you to finally stop overthinking your marriage or relationships by overcoming your fear of being left by a partner. Thought by thought, action by action, and now episode by episode. Why? So you can experience true, authentic, anxiety-free love and feel a lasting ripple effect in all areas of your life. Are you ready to become the best version of yourself? Welcome back to the episode 2 of the Anxious to Secure podcast. Today we kick off the relationship Mythbuster edition. This is very exciting because I feel like there's so many lies about relationships, about anxiety, about love out there, things we've learned on social media, because everyone is just portraying their best version of themselves, only showing what the partner's doing for them on Valentine's Day and during Christmas, during good times. But it's totally understandable. I'm not posting videos or pictures when I'm in conflict with my partner. It's so normal. But that's also one point why I don't show much of my pictures between my partner and me. Don't show many really lovely, doubly videos between the two of us, because I feel like it can create a picture of this one point of view of everything is always good, or everything is always sweet and cute, and that's just not the reality. So I think that's why I'm kind of more conscious about what I'm sharing, what kind of relationship content, and that's why I'm often sharing just pictures of myself and about the environment where I am, and not just pictures of us or videos of us. One picture I think is okay, but not these super romanticized versions of us, because I feel like after a couple of years, that's just not the reality anymore. Love doesn't look like how it looks like during the first few weeks and months and even years of a relationship. And if you only follow accounts people who still have this extreme passion still there, it can create a lot of relationship anxiety. There's no right or wrong. And there are, of course, relationships that have still a lot of passion and excitement about them. And I'm not saying that's all fake, but I just want to create this Mythbuster series to really talk about a realistic point of view, a realistic picture of what love looks like, what relationships look like. And also to not just say there's just one point of view, there's the right and the wrong, but there's also the shades of gray in between. So today I want to talk about a myth that so many of us struggle with, I think. And it's like when you blame your partner for your anxiety, when it's really about your attachment style, right? I don't know if you can relate to that. And I used to always think it was my partner who need to change and they're doing something wrong. And of course, there are things that, like inconsistent behavior isn't right. And it would be great if they would be showing you love and maybe in a different way, maybe more. But in the end, it is actually because of your attachment style that gets really activated. And your anxiety has really more to do with you than with your partner. So I'm going to say it again because it's very, very important. Your anxiety has more to do with you than with your partner. And I can't really, sugarcoat this anymore because it has really negative consequences for you and your relationship and your partner. If you only focus on what your partner should do, if you only blame him, if you only always say, but what if, why is it just me who needs to change? Why is it not just my partner? If you're only focusing on him, you will always stay stuck. You will always feel like the victim of the circumstance. And this belief kept me stuck in this anxious-avoidant cycle for too long. I used to think my partner was the reason I was anxious. It was his fault, and he needed to change. He should give me more love. He should spend more time with me. He should do things more to make me feel happy, to make me feel safe. He should listen to me more. He should take me out on more dates. He should give me more reassurance. He should give me more flowers as a surprise. He should. At the beginning, I even thought, oh my God, Why can't he just, I don't know, buy a dress and surprise me and pick it out for me, like super cringy? And this is where I'm not anymore, luckily. And this belief really kept me stuck. This is really important to realize. Either you want to just blame and be stuck in the situation where you are, or you should realize, hey, you are the creator of your life. You are the creator of your relationship. So what you're going to do about it? And it kept me in this toxic, anxious-avoidant cycle. And there was a time when I would check my phone constantly, waiting for a text back, not just from my partner when he was at work or so, but also from my friends, even from my family. It's crazy. Exactly. People love you, but that's not enough. If you don't feel secure from within, nothing is ever enough. And it didn't take that long for people to respond to me, but it still kept me spiraling. And then I thought, like, what did I do wrong? Why aren't they more into me? Why am I always the one who likes them more than they like me? I don't know if it sounds familiar. Sometimes I might have liked them more than they liked me. But so what? Love is not always 50-50. I think that's a very important thing as well. We should probably talk about another time. Love is not always like, hey, I love you to 50%. I hope you love me back to 50%. That would be amazing. What I'm trying to say is you can't always love each other at the same level. There's always someone who loves the other person a little bit more. But what I'm trying to say is that we love also differently. Love looks so differently. Like if your partner doesn't reassure you or doesn't tell you he loves you, that doesn't mean he doesn't love you. It simply means he doesn't love you in that way that he tells you he loves you. For example, my partner, he never tells me he loves me, but he shows me he loves me. For example, his love language is different. He shows me that he loves me through acts of service. Like he cooks meals for me when he has the time. Like during the week, he's super stressed with work, but during the weekend, he really, really likes to go shopping with me and makes a meal for me. And that's literally his love language. But as anxious attachers, we are so specific in how we want to feel safe. And that's kind of what I mean here. And it's possible that you love someone a little bit more than they love you, as long as it's kind of fairly balance each other out. Of course, you don't want to be extremely head over heels with someone and they literally just give you breadcrumbs and they don't love you in any kind of way. They don't speak any kind of love languages. That's, of course, a different sign, but that's not what I'm talking about. If you generally think, okay, he does love me, but I just can't see it right now. I need to be more changing my focus here. Then try to be open for 1 week and literally see, okay, maybe he loves me, but I can't see it right now because I was so focused on these specific ways and how he's, how I think he should give me love. Hey you, if you're tired of just listening to all the podcasts, reading all the self-help books, and feeling like your therapy sessions aren't creating the transformation you desire, it's time to take action. You'll have to check out my Anxious to Secure course, where I reveal all my secrets and strategies that help me to heal my anxious attachment style within just 6 months. Here's the truth. 95% of our actions are driven by our subconscious mind. So even if you know the right steps to do, even if you know you have to stop chasing, set boundaries, to focus on yourself, your subconscious mind is still stuck in fear mode. It's not enough to just know what to do. You need to rewire your mind and shift those old beliefs. That's where your real transformation happens. No more spiraling when your partner pulls away, feeling unloved when they don't shower you with compliments, anxious waiting for their validation and reassurance. These triggers are not to do with your partner. They're about your deep-rooted abandonment wounds that keeps resurfacing over and over again. Imagine this, feeling secure from within, even when your partner needs space. Knowing your worth, even if they're not prioritizing you at every moment. Moving through your relationship with confidence, no matter what. If you want this kind of transformation, grab my Anxious to Secure course now before the price goes up after the first round. Comment blueprint under any of my Instagram posts or head to the link in bio. P.S. The price is only 97 incredible euros at the beginning, so don't wait. You're worth it. So anyway, let me ask you a few things. Maybe this sounds familiar to you. And maybe you're constantly comparing yourself. Like, it's so easy to compare your relationship to others, thinking, why can't my partner be more like that, more like them? Maybe you're always watching social media and that guy always speaks all the love language suddenly. He gives her flowers. He knows exactly what she likes. And that is so unrealistic, guys. Like, this is all fake. And yes, there could be one relationship in the universe where the guy does everything for her. But on social media, it's often not the truth. Like, they're creating the videos for social media, for you to think it's all just fairy tales and, I don't know, butterflies. But that's just an unrealistic picture. I heard a quote like, don't compare yourself to people who have it better than you. Compare yourself to the people who have the worse than you. So think about like toxic relationships or someone who is really feeling unloved, and to someone like that, because they are struggling even more than you. So I feel like this is a much better comparison. Or compare yourself to your younger version of yourself, how far you've come already. And I feel like this is one part how you can get out of this comparison trap. Yeah. And this really creates a narrative where your partner otherwise feels like the problem because he doesn't do the things that other guys do, but instead of recognizing it's actually your anxiety talking and not what your partner doesn't do. And then maybe you're also reading a lot between the lines. You read a simple text from him and maybe then you jump to conclusions. You assume it means something negative, of course, because our brain is always wired for the negative. And when your partner sends something like thumbs up or even like a meme or just reads it or just says 2 or 3 words like saying okay, it's tempting to think, oh my God, they're upset with me. They just not into you as much. They just don't seem to bother anymore. They're not interested in you. And it's so easy to blame your partner for that. But in truth it's often more your anxiety talking here. It's your fears of they're not into you. They're not interested. They're going to leave you. You're not good enough. So another point I want to make here is like, maybe you're like overthinking their actions. So maybe you're obsessed over what your partner says or didn't say. It can feel like every little detail, every little thing they do reflects on your relationship, which puts all the pressure really on them. Maybe you're also seeking a lot of reassurance. Like, reassurance, I think, is one of the biggest things, the biggest needs for someone who's anxiously attached. At least that was for me always the case when I work with one-on-one clients. That's something they need a lot as well, because reassurance equals kind of safety. It means, hey, I can reassure you that I will be there for you. You know, I am here for you. It's going to be okay. And that feels good if it comes from someone else. So if you need your partner to constantly reassure you of their love, it can feel like this kind of dictates your emotional response as well. You know, you can kind of feel like, hey, whenever they reassure you, you're okay. You're safe. But then you might start blaming them if they don't reassure you anymore suddenly. Then it's a problem they have, because if they don't reassure you, they should reassure you, because then you suddenly don't feel good enough anymore and not safe. So they should reassure you again. But again, it's like, your partner is not your therapist. Your partner is not your parent, not your dad. Not anyone who's supposed to take care of your emotional needs. You know, your partners, they are just there to be loved and to love you. And that's really it. Another point I realized here comes to mind is maybe you're projecting also your past experiences. So there might be old wounds from previous even relationships or from same relationship that can come back up and like sabotage that. So one client, for example, felt very anxious when her partner didn't invite her for like a party, I think there was. And then she really felt triggered by all of her past relationship wounds and her past memories and felt really excluded. And then she lashed out and she didn't realize first that it has something to do with her past and not about the present moment. It's nothing to do with her partner. It was about her fears and her anxiety and her past. Oh, yeah. So it felt easier for me to blame my partner for all this anxiety because then you don't have to look at yourself. You don't have to look at your past. You don't have to take much action. You can just say, hey, you need to reassure me to feel better. And if they just would respond to my text only faster, if they would just tell me they love me, everything would be okay. But here's the thing. I was looking at the bigger picture. I wasn't looking at the bigger picture. That's the thing. My anxious attachment style was doing all the heavy lifting. It took me a while to realize that my fears and insecurities were rooted in my past. So not just my partner's actions. Yes, of course, he could have sometimes also learned to more like be verbal, maybe sometimes reassure me a little bit more. But in the end, that doesn't help me. I can learn to express myself in a more grounded way, but that's exactly the point. I can't really express myself in a helpful way, in an assertive way, if I'm so anxious and so triggered. Someone has to start breaking the cycle, and life is too damn precious to just wait around for someone to do it. I wanted to be that person. Hope this kind of resonates with you. If you want to be that person, take the steps. So let me try to bust this myth a little bit more if you're ready for this. Here are 5 reasons why blaming a partner for your anxiety isn't just unfair. It's literally a missed opportunity for growth as well. First of all, self-reflection is key. When we project our fears onto our partner, we really completely miss our chance to understand our attachment styles and influence and how it really influences our reactions. One of our clients felt anxious like every time when her partner was really busy with work. There was one of her triggers, the partner was working very long, very late, and then she always felt anxious, insecure, and she hated to be waiting at home for him. So instead of blaming him for not texting back, for not calling, for being more there for her, she then recognized, hey, okay, this might be more about me, like a me thing than a him thing. And then she connected this back to her childhood, recognized the moment when her abandonment fear might have developed, and then were able to disconnect from it and started to healing her wounds. And that was super powerful because then she was able to allow her partner to work more whenever he needed, but she also was able to express herself more vulnerably, say, hey, what? I really miss you when you're working so late. Is there a moment when we can also create more moments together? So this way they were able to manage to spend more quality time on moments when it really matters, like the weekends or some moments during the week. And then she was completely fine when he had to really work late. And that's, I think, a really beautiful moment. So another point is we often get so wrapped up in what our partner's doing wrong, that we forget to look at our own role and our emotional push and pull. And I had anxiety spike up whenever my partner would go out with friends, for example. And I thought it was all about him being, ignoring my needs and didn't want to take me out and was just a bit selfish and all of that. But again, it was my fear speaking. I was scared that I would lose him, that he would like them more than me, and I was just like scared of losing him. So it was my patterns again. And the third point, I would say, it's really external influences as well. So sometimes our partner's actions trigger our attachment fears. Like, instead of blaming them, we need to only ask ourselves why we're feeling this way. So maybe an example I could give is, one client felt, very left out a lot of times in her relationship. Whenever her partner made plans, and he even went on holiday once alone, and she felt very triggered. And then we were able to connect it back to moments of her childhood when in school she felt often left out in group settings, and she never really felt she was like really belonging anywhere, and how she was kind of bullied often as well. And then she really able to see what this is her past speaking. This is not her current situation, and just try to predict future pain. This doesn't really help. So from then onwards, she was able to communicate her feelings as well better. Instead of lashing out and criticizing and trying to control his actions, she was able to say, well, this is what I need. And she was able to understand it better as well. So she really took control of her emotional state. Yeah. And yeah, each time we really play the blame game, I think we really, really miss the chance for growth. And recognizing our attachment style can really lead to a healthier mindset. For example, like learning like self-soothing techniques is so powerful when we feel all of these emotions, down, insecurity, fear, to see, okay, what can I do right now with myself? How can I shift the focus from my partner to myself? How can I give myself what my partner should have given me? Like, for example, reassurance. Like, how can I talk to myself in the way that I wish my partner would say right now? And a very powerful tool, for example. Yeah, and then also, sometimes our partner's behavior really highlights our insecurities. Again, it's our insecurities. So we need to take a moment to really reflect on what these feelings really are and what they mean for us. Like when I already feel, uneasy because my partner didn't really introduce me to his friends for quite a long while, I had to realize that it was about my fears of feeling not accepted, of not being good enough, because this was really a core belief of mine. And really reflecting on that and being honest to yourself, this helped me a lot to point towards my own things that I had to heal within myself. And so that really helped me shifting from blaming my partner and really understanding ourselves better, and then to really communicate from a grounded place. I really would love to know from you, like, what is it that makes you feel stuck right now in your relationship? If this kind of helped you as well. Yeah, it's really a journey, but it really is so worth taking. And what is like your pattern that is like keep coming up as well? I would really love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, and if my partner had been the most perfect partner and jumped whenever I wanted him to jump, like whenever I would have wanted him to reassure me, tell me I'm beautiful, and give me all the gifts and give me all the commitment I wanted, it's just super unrealistic. And even if you leave your partner and get together with this secure person, with this ideal person who will always comfort your anxiety, who will always soothe your anxiety, this will become, I don't know, this won't help long term, because even a secure person can become anxious over time, or even avoidant at a time. Because if you are someone who's very anxious and get together eventually with a secure person, the likelihood that the secure person will turn avoidant is actually fairly high, I would say. That happened to some of my clients, and I also have read about it online, and I've exchanged myself with other coaches about this, because again, attachment styles can develop and they can change and transform, and if you don't work on yourself, this is something that can happen. So it can happen. It's a good thing that it can happen, because you can actually change your insecure attachment style to a secure one. But unfortunately, it can also happen as the opposite. So thinking, hey, I'm going to leave my avoidant partner, I'm going to find this perfect person who just gives me everything I need, and that's the solution. Unfortunately, that's not the solution. But that's a myth for another episode. Hey you, if you're tired of just listening to all the podcasts, reading all the self-help books, and feeling like your therapy sessions aren't creating the transformation you desire, it's time to take action. You'll have to check out my Anxious to Secure course, where I reveal all my secrets that help me to heal my anxious attachment style within just 6 months. 95% of our actions are driven by our subconscious mind. So even if you know you have to stop chasing, set boundaries, to focus on yourself, your subconscious mind is still stuck in fear mode. It's not enough to just know what to do. You need to rewire your mind. That's where your real transformation happens. No more spiraling when your partner pulls away, feeling unloved when they don't shower you with compliments, anxious waiting for their validation and reassurance. These triggers are not to do with your partner. They're about your deep-rooted abandonment wounds. Imagine this: feeling secure from within, even when your partner needs space. Knowing your worth, even if they're not prioritizing you at every moment. If you want this, grab my Anxious to Secure course now. Comment blueprint under any of my Instagram posts or head to the link in bio. So we often think our partners are causing our anxiety, but in truth, it's usually our fears, our beliefs driving it. And we are just rubbing each other's wounds. And yeah, every episode, I would love to share with you some action steps. And if you're ready for it, you can take like a pen and your journal or some paper and write it down if you want. But first, if you want to stop worrying in your relationship, I have a little free resource for you. And it's a free worry flow chart for anyone who has relationship anxiety or who's anxious attached. And you can grab this on my Instagram account under the marriage coach. Again, you write it with the.marriage.coach. And if you comment worry under any of my posts or videos on my social media account, you're going to get this link sent directly to your inbox. So again, here are things you can stop doing right that helps you with this mindset. First of all, stop stalking their online activity to figure out why they haven't responded. Every time you check, you're deepening your anxious loop. So rereading text for hidden meanings doesn't help. If you catch yourself doing this, stop. It's your anxiety talking, not facts. Making their quiet moments about you is also something you should stop. So their distance doesn't mean they're pulling away or they don't care. Don't let your brain convince you otherwise. And then here are 3 things you can start. So far, set boundaries for how often you check in with your phone. Very important. Give yourself a time limit, like only checking once every 2 hours to reduce the urge of obsessing over your phone. Depends on how often you check in right now. Just reduce the amount of times. You can also create a mantra like, their actions don't define my worth, and then repeat it over a few times when you feel anxious, or also during the day. You can also write it down whenever you feel anxious, or as a preventative, basically. And then focus on your needs in the moment. So when you feel anxiety, when you feel anxious, ask yourself, what do I need right now to feel grounded? What do I want to hear from a partner right now? And then give it to yourself. Whether it's a walk, like a self-hug, a cup of tea, a warm blanket you want to wrap around yourself, and maybe like really comforting words. And tell yourself the words you wanted to hear from your partner. Journal them, say them out loud. Anything that really helps you and to get you out of this cycle that only fuels the anxiety, that fuels the belief that you're only feeling good when your partner does something for you. And yeah, we're heading towards the end. Again, long term, always learn about attachment theory and really create a secure attachment style. Know it's possible. If it's possible for me, it's so possible for you too. And I'm so happy you listened to the episode, that you're here with me on your journey. And I would love to support you in any way, shape, or form I can. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Remember, change in your relationship starts with you. thought by thought and action by action. If you love this episode and want to give me a virtual high five, please give me a 5-star rating wherever you're listening from. It really, really helps me to boost the podcast a little bit higher in the rankings so I can help even more people just like you. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.